Hi, this is George. Today I'm going to talk about intake through scale tickets and how we can bring product into the system. We can go in first, look at the ticket management report, which shows us all the tickets. So if I want to see any open tickets, I can go to this report and just look for open tickets. If here I want to see tickets by item, by commodity, by customer, by location, I can do that all in seconds, right? If I want to see split loads, open loads, no unit price loads, anything I want, I can find, within seconds from that screen. So it's a very nice screen that actually lets me filter. And I'm going to do a new ticket from here. Again, each person belongs to a scale station, and that scale station has settings, so you can set that scale station up to default and use specific scales, and those scales can be integrated as well as moisture testers can be integrated. The other piece that's huge about scale that we don't necessarily always talk about is the fact that it can run offline disconnected in case your scale facility is not in a very highly visible location or highly connected location. You can actually run this disconnected so the scale can work online, and when it can grab a connection, it can bring that back up to the home office and actually fix all the data, synchronize all the data, and move from there. All right, so at this point right now, what I've done is I've created a basic scale ticket. Again, now, what happens here, let me just lay out the screen for you, is one is we have a short area up front where the majority of your information is going to be captured that you're going to use all the time, like the ticket type, the ticket number, the driver, those type of things. All that's right up here for you, right? All right, the next piece that we have in the lower left is the grading information and then the distribution and split information, right? So that's what we've got squared off right now. Now, the next piece of the scale that we have is the scale options, right? And these options say what the date is, because you can forward date stuff, which is very nice. And it actually tells you the hauler if you want to start to accrue charges. It'll show the actual transportation hauler, the last leg, the last mile delivery guy, where you can put in more charges. You can capture the farm and field on the actual scale, which will come from the contract if you integrate a contract. Pretty nice operation. You also capture the scale operator so you know who it's doing, the grades and weights, and we also have an option now for delivery sheets whereby you can group shipments for rail or average grading. So a lot of options inside the scale options, and then we move on to the weight section and the actual ticket selection. So the ticket selection basically is an area that shows what's in my yard. So what have been loaded in but not yet loaded out. So those are my loads that are available and ready for use. And then the last thing here I have is my weight section, which actually shows the weight of the scale, the weight of the load on the scale. So if I had 5 scales, it would have 5 weights up here. So now let me just go through here and hit the F3. The F3 key will bring in my weight from the scale. So this is a hot scale. This is my load cell. It's saying I have 33,000 pounds. I'm not going to enter the tare. I'm going to save this load just as I would inside of the system, and then that load will go into my yard, and then I could do other loads and come back to it, right? So that's kind of what that yard on the right hand side is, to account for the drivers and what's in the yard. Again, too, if you know you want certain things on there, like you want to see the truck ID, any part of the information, the reference, all that kind of stuff, all that stuff can be drilled through, and you can put in what you want to see to be able to identify the trucks in the yard, right? If you don't care about load in, load out, you just more want to see the driver, excuse me, you could hide those columns and move on from that respect. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save that, and let's say I'm just reselecting it from the yard. Our scale is NTEP certified, meaning that it is a valid weight. It is a valid weight acceptance scale, so that's kind of cool. All right. So now I've saved off that scale. Now the next thing to do is determine what I'm going to do. I could hook this scale ticket with the contract, so I'm going to go to the contract, and I'm going to pick the contract, and I'm going to distribute the scale ticket to a contract. Now some of you might not do that at the scale. You guys might do that in the office, in which case you just save the scale ticket and pass it on, and you can review it by status. So that's just fully up to you what you want to do with it. You could also have picked a split for the distribution, whereby you're splitting it amongst multiple farmers. We fully support splits. You could also do a spot sale, or you could do a combination when we distribute, you'll see the combination where you can pretty much lay it out any way you want. You can put it in open storage, whatever. So this screen gives you the flexibility to pick whichever way you want. We also do automatic distribution, whereby it'll go right to a contract if there is an open contract. So this one's in manual distribution mode, but we could go into auto distribution mode as well. That is just a real high overview of the scale. Now, other elements that we do have that are important to know is you do have your links back to your contract. So let's say you wanted to see that contract, you just single click, and from the scale they can see all the contract information and determine if that's a viable contract to apply. So that's very cool from that respect. The other thing is they can attach documents right there, so that's basically any additional information they want, and printing actual scale tickets. Once they save the scale ticket, they can print a scale ticket, and then that scale ticket can be given to the driver or the producer or whoever it be at the scale, right? So there's your scale ticket. Again, we have a couple different varieties of scale ticket. We also have auto print, where it prints right to the scale. The other piece that we have is the void, so you can void that ticket, right? And again, as I said before, the station sets up all the information on the scale. So the next piece on scale I'm going to go to is distribute. It's asking me for a storage location, which is optional in this setup. That could be mandatory. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the ticket. Now, if my distribution was set to automatic, it would actually just go out and automatically distribute the ticket if it could find a contract. If not, it would spot it. This one actually has a distribution, so it's found a contract. It's going to apply these 584 items to the contract that I selected, and then it's going to be set. Now down here, this is where I could place things into storage. Again, our storage is fully configurable, where you can either have that storage as part of your position as company owned, or you can have it as customer owned. You can do a delayed price out of here as well. The last thing is spot. This is the amount of goods that you're going to spot sell. So I'm going to go ahead and process that transaction, and that's going to go ahead and post it for me. Cool. So that's the majority of the function in the scale. Now, the whole thing that we haven't talked about at this point is all the discount schedules, and you can enter and make discount schedules manual. So I'm going to go ahead and go into a discount schedule and basically show you how this works out, right? So what we've got here is test weight, our discount schedule for test weight, right? And so this allows me to record the minimum and maximum reading, and so that I know that those get recognized on the scale. I can calculate discount on net weight. This is where I can put in my shrink factors based upon the readings on the scale, right? And then I can actually extend my discount schedule so it can be exported or printed. So this basically will allow me to say from a specific range, I want to increment by 1. There's my unit amount discount and my cumulative discount and the shrink that I'm going to apply. So this will allow me to apply unlimited number of grading factors, and these gradings machines could actually be integrated as well. We do several moisture testers and several grading machine integrations. So very, very simple, easy to use interface. That's for setup, but for picking it, you would just go into the test weight and enter the test weight and enter the moisture, and it will calculate your discount and the damage. So that's an overview of how a ticket works in the system. Again, once it's posted, it'll go right to payables and right for settlement. So very quickly you can settle. Thank you for watching.